Writing newspaper headlines isn't art, but very few do it quite like the NT News.
A collection of its best of its legendary front pages has been published in a new book, appropriately titled What a Crock. Joining us from Darwin is the editor of the NT News, Rachel Hancock. Rachel, good morning to you.
Hi, how you going, Michael?
Very well. I just want to ask you, have you any idea of how much joy you bring Virginia and I every morning when we go through the morning's papers?
I've seen you quite a few times having a good giggle, so I'm glad that we can make you laugh.
You brighten up our mornings. Listen, we'll show our viewers some of those legendary front pages in a moment, but I want to ask you, how did you end up in the NT?
I was working at the Advertiser in Adelaide and was offered the opportunity to come up as editor when Matt Cunningham left. So I grabbed the opportunity really fast because I love the paper as well, and I hadn't worked in the NT or visited, so I'm absolutely loving it.
And did the words crocodiles and aliens feature prominently in Matt's briefing to you when he took over?
Yeah, and many other things, nudity, the works. I was a little bit shocked when I got here and had my briefing, but it doesn't take very long to get into the swing of things.
Indeed it doesn't. Let's go to some of those front pages now, and starting with What a Crockhead. I believe this is one of your favourite ones too. How did you come up with this one, and what's the story behind it?
Oh, this was before my time, but I just love it because it's obviously a play on words. But we see a lot of people that get in front of croc traps up here, which is absolutely ridiculous and really dangerous. So every time we get one of these, we try and expose them and make them look like the fools that they are for risking their lives. OK,
Why I Stuck a Cracker Up My Clacker, one of the all-time best NT News front pages.
That is.
Who is this idiot?
Yes, this one won a Walkley Award. Can you believe it, for best headline?
Oh, I can believe it, all right. It's a great headline.
Yeah. This guy, this photo was sent into the NT News, and I just don't understand why he's got a snake and drinking a beer bottle. But what he did was put a firework up his buttock, should we say, and it caused some severe burns. So that story was just a walk-up great headline for us, yeah.
A more recent one, and one word in our previous front page translates to this one. Why I've got a packer up my clacker.
Yeah, this one, when these photos came out earlier this year, we knew that every paper around the country would be putting them on page one, and it was quite unusual for us to put an interstate photo on page one, so we had to really work it to come up with a funny headline. We actually had Who Wants to Beat a Millionaire, which I thought was really, really clever.
Boring, Rachel. No. Yeah. I hope you toss that one aside very quickly.
And then the guy who came up with the clacker headline just about 7 o'clock at night, close to deadline, just said, why don't we do Why I've Got a Packer Up My Clacker? So we all just went, that's it, and we changed page one just in time.
Excellent.
I hope you gave that around the world.
I hope you gave that colleague a pay rise too. OK, let's go to another one of our joint favourites. Dud Root. Tell us the story behind this one.
This one was, there's a bus terminal that got moved because of development works in the main street of Darwin. So they just set up this temporary site, which was absolutely ridiculous. You know, you got tourists coming in and out of town to this makeshift, I don't even know what you call it, a shade sail or something. So I just love the picture of the guy sitting there. I hope he didn't take offence to the headline.
I was going to ask,
never heard from him.
You didn't hear from him?
No, I didn't hear from him. He's probably left town in embarrassment.
It's a worse thing to say about anybody. Now, this other front page, the final one you came up with after a woman going out for a walk with a dog, felt the call of nature, left the dog outside. What happened next, Rachel?
Yeah, well, she said she was only in there for about 15 minutes, which I don't think is that long, but council workers obviously come along and they've got a policy to remove dogs that are left for longer than 15 minutes, apparently. So they took the dog and she came out, and unbeknownst to her, it's gone, and had to go down to the pound to get it out. So that was another great fodder for a funny page one. And she played along really great with her, as did the dog, as you can see on the page one.
The dog on the bog, indeed. Now, how do you talked about one of those close to deadline headlines, the Packer headline. Generally, how do these front pages eventuate? Is it a collegial process? Do you have a lot of say? Do you have competitions? How does it work?
Yeah, it's pretty much a team effort. There's about 4 or 5 of us that after conference workshop some ideas, and it's become a bit of a trying to beat each other to get which one gets on page one. So it can sometimes go for hours as we're working on pages during the day. Someone will throw out another headline. So we just keep thinking all day about the headlines because we know how important they are. And with tourists coming into the town all the time, we really try and sell off our page ones.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you've put together this book. It's called What a Crock. How do people like us who love NT News front pages get hold of that, Rachel?
Oh, it's available in bookstores and online, and we've also got a news shop on ntnews.com.au, so you can buy some stubby holders if you like, and singlets and whatever you like. So, but it's available in all good bookstores.
Fantastic. Lovely work. Rachel Hancock, NT News editor, thanks very much for coming on and having a chat.
Thanks for your time. Thank you.